right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. You'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today. Hope everybody has had an awesome weekend. And we are ready to get the week rocking. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper for notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. So, we got a pretty busy week this week. We have CPI data, we got rate statements, we got a lot happening. So, we're going to dive in. We'll take a look at the fundamentals, see what the plan is for the week, and then we'll go through the charts to get an update on where things are ahead of some of this data that's coming out. So let's hop over to trading economics and we will get things moving. Let's go here. And real quick, just drop me a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me okay. Last week I had some audio issues. Perfect. Appreciate it. And all right, cool. So there we got it. First things first. This is going to be an interesting conversation as we move through the day to day, and then how it impacts tomorrow will be very interesting. So annual inflation rate in the U.S. likely fell to 4.1% in May of 2023, the lowest since March of 2021, from 4.9% in April and 5% in March, mainly due to lower energy prices. On a monthly basis, the CPI is projected to increase by 0.2%, easing from a 0.4% rise in April. Meanwhile, the core inflation, this is the number that the Fed has said that they are looking at to ultimately make their determination. Core inflation is expected to decrease to 5.3% from 5.5%. With the monthly rate projected to remain at 0.4%, the same as in April. The upcoming data precedes the Federal Reserve interest rate decision tomorrow and is expected to strengthen the case for a pause in this tightening cycle. So the data is going to be interesting. What we've seen around the world is that inflation hasn't slowed. Right? Inflation hasn't slowed and it's still pretty tight. So we shall see how these numbers come out today and again, how that impacts tomorrow. UK jobless rate, unemployment rate in the UK came in at 3.8% in February to March and up 0.1%, 1 percentage point on the quarter, but below the market expectation of 4.0. Still, the rate remained close to January to March period, over a 1-year high of 3.9%. As the number of unemployed increased by 52,000 to 1.3 million, driven by people unemployed for up to 12 months. At the same time, employment levels rose by 250,000. To an all-time high at 33 million. Also be the market consensus of 162,000 advance. So the UK rate, jobless rate is an interesting scenario, and we'll look at the actual data on the calendar. Then we have investor morale in Germany is weak. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the news updates. Over to the calendar. This is where we sit today. Here's that jobless numbers coming out of the UK. It was better than expected, right? The average earnings up 6.5% and 13.6 thousand jobs. There's actually a decrease of 13.6 thousand unemployed folks from the data there. Now, today at 8:30, we have that CPI data, right? And this is what everybody's looking at today to see how these numbers come out. And then we have Governor Bailey speaking at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow we have GDP for the pound month over month, and we have core CPI data. I'm sorry, core PPI data for the United States ahead of the FOMC statement tomorrow, right? Also tomorrow we got New Zealand GDP quarter over quarter. You got employment and unemployment for the Aussie. And then Thursday, told you guys it's going to be a busy week. You got the monetary policy statement and rate statement for the euro at 8:15. And then we have core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing Index, retail sales, unemployment claims for the United States. Also big numbers when it comes to that inflation conversation. And then the ECB press conference at 8:45. And then sometime later in the evening on Thursday, we got Bank of Japan's monetary policy statement, right? So busy week ahead. So we will, it'll give us the volatility that we look for. So we'll keep our eyes peeled to the charts. All right. Any questions from a fundamental perspective or anything that you guys saw this morning over the weekend that caught your eye? No? No? All right. Cool deal. The dollar is falling. Yep, ahead of the data, it is pushing to the downside. We'll take a look at it real quick before we dive into those charts. So let's do it. Let's hop over to the charts and see what's cracking. So over to the DXY. All right, so there's the crown on the daily that we've been watching how it moves. And you see here in recent times, right, in this range that we've been working in, dollars pressing to the downside. We're sitting at this daily previous resistance, which is now support. And we want to see what happens here, right? See what happens with that CPI data to see if it pushes it back to the upside, or this is a sub fib off the low. See if we get a deeper retracement here, right? Ahead of the monetary policy statement coming in tomorrow, right? So we're going to watch this to see what happens, but we're sitting at a previous resistance level, which could serve us as support. We shall see. We shall see. But yes, pressing to the downside out of this 80-20 scenario. Boom. Right. So we'll continue to monitor to see what happens here throughout the day today. All right. It'll be interesting. Right. Bets are increasing on a pause. If there is a pause, right, we could see this continue to press to the downside, break the support level. If there is not a pause, right, if the Fed does what Canada and what Australia has done, we could see the dollar rally, right? We could see a rally in the dollar and start breaking some of these resistance levels to the upside. Okay, so we'll watch that closely to see what transpires there. Okay, as we come down to the 4, we see that just a little bit more closely. Boom. So AB boundary there on the 4, 786 retracement on the 4-hour at that daily support level, right? Could potentially double bottoming here as well, right? If we push off that level and track to the upside. Okay, so we'll watch this here and see what is happening. Okay, UJ is definitely waiting for it. We shall see. We shall see. Real quick, we'll hop over and take a look at the UJ. We'll bounce back to the daily, clean this up a bit. Oops. Some of these things out the way. There we go. All right, so this is where we are. It's kind of nasty here, guys, because I got my lower time frame things on there. But if I can get it together, there we go. All right, here we go. Boom. There we are. So this is the daily, right? Even though we're tracking a crown pattern on the daily as well. But this is the move to the upside. We got a 618 retracement off the fibs off the low, right? Boom, right there. So we got a D extension here. So we want to see, do we get a pullback on a lower time frame, potentially getting us to the support level, maybe a little bit deeper, right, before we get back long, which would then call for, right, that retracement in the dollar in order for that to occur. Okay, so that's the daily look. As we drop down to the 4, right, we see we took out that A here, right? So we flip the fib and run it to the upside, like so. Super choppy in there. That A got taken out as well. So we'll come to the low here. Right, and this is where 80-20 is. 80-20 on the 4-hour. Shallow retracement 118, 127, hovering at this daily level, right? Similar to the DXY, hovering at a support level. Here we're hovering at a resistance level. So could see this press to the downside here, right? That daily support level is 175 pips, 170 pips away, right? And that TP1 is to 275. Right, so got a ways to go, but we could see potentially this push to the downside, at least temporarily. So we'll see what happens with the data, but that's what we're looking for here on this pound dollar yen. Sorry, is this retracement here out this 80-20 zone? Okay, as we drop down to the 1, bring it back. And we'll track these off of the low. And then we're there as well, right? So we got 80-20 on the 4 and an 80-20 on the 1 hour, right? Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. See if we get this retracement. We push down just with that 382 there. See if we get a deeper push on the 1 to get us to that daily support level. Okay, so I'm going to watch this one similar to been reviewed the Euro CAD from a couple weeks ago, where we had an 80-20 on the 4-hour and it pressed down, but it didn't give us a deep retracement that we're looking for. But on the 1 hour, it did. Right. So I'm going to watch this one similarly because we have this key support level here. Right. So I'm going to watch the 4-hour and the 1 hour. If we get a deep retracement and price holds here, we could see a reversal on that press to the upside. So keep that in mind as we're looking at this dollar yen, because we could see this bounce if price gets there. Okay. You guys follow me on that? That makes sense? Okay. So we'll track it like that to see if we get a move similar to that. And then obviously, right, if we break that level, then we're heading TP1, which will take out the A on the 1, and we'll flip that fib and run it from the top down. Okay. So that's the dollar yen. I want to hop over to actually, let's stay here. Look at the dollar CAD. Boy, oh boy. So let's clean it up a bit. I haven't looked at this pair. I've just been allowing it to do what it's going to do. So let's pull it back and let's take a look. So this is where we are in the daily. Now, what's important here is that we're 6th, 7th time at this support level, right? We got a key support level here that we're tracking, and we're trying to get a bounce off the level. Right? But we've been trapped in this range since November. Okay, been trapped in this range since November. So we could potentially see another bounce and a push back to the upside in favor of the dollar, right? We know last week we had, a rate increase for the Canadian dollar. So we'll watch to see what happens here at these support levels, right? Again, depending on what the dollar does and how the dollar moves, we could potentially see some action. Okay. So we'll watch and see what transpires here at the support level. Okay. As we drop down to the 4, on the 4 hour, run the fib off the low here. Right. And you see we start to get choppy and taking all that out. So we will come to the top. That got taken out. So we'll come to the next high. That one also got taken out. That one will likely get taken out as well. So we're here. Nope, not even there. Next one. There we go. Boom. So this is where we sit on the daily. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. We haven't gotten to that D extension, just missed it. And we got this push here, right? So push back above this previous monthly level, pulling back, retesting. So if this level holds, we could see 80-20 on the daily, on the 4 hour time frame start to make its way to the upside here. Okay. So we want to watch this closely as well to see what transpires with this dollar CAD. Okay. Now, again, all data dependent things, but something to keep our eyes on is how this market responds to the data. Okay. And this is what this will look like here. All right. So this is one idea. Boom. Okay. So we'll keep that there as we move down to the 1. Okay. Actually, we'll drop in these TP levels here. And there. All right. So now let's go down to the 1 and look at the fibs the same way, coming off the same high. Boom. So here it's just mixed, right? We already got a 382 on the 1, right? And we're just ranging here. So a couple things we can do, right? Obviously, we're going to watch to make sure that that level holds, but additional confirmation because we have a lot of data coming out this week. Boom, drop the cloud on. And we got a break of the cloud. We're pulling back to retest the cloud now. I kind of like it, but boom. So we need that level to hold. We broke above the cloud. Strong bullish move there. Pull back, retest previous resistance, showing that support in line with its previous monthly support level. We could be in for a push to the upside here, right? Could be in for a push to the upside here. This is that TP1 on the 4 right here. Okay. This is interesting. I kind of like this idea. So let's watch this here. All right. Let's watch this here. Yeah, I like that. Itchy fingers. Yeah, Joy. I kind of like this idea though. I kind of like that idea. Let's see. Let's run a sub fib and see if we got any waves off this. I like this look. Even off the sub fib, we got a wave here. Pull back. Just shy of that 618 retracement off that sub fib.
I was looking at this last night.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was, but I didn't see it swing low, so I put me an order in at the purple line at the
right here.
No, on the prime fib. At the 80 on the capital fib. Yeah, I can't think of the level. Right where you at? Below the daily. No.
Right here.
Move to the left. No, I didn't do that one. Down. Yep.
Oh, you got a
limit order.
A limit order.
Yeah.
Okay. I did that. See if we get another push to the downside. I'll follow you. There. Okay. Benny, good morning, bro.
I mean, it also lines up with, what the dollar is doing, right? The dollar is right at that 382.
Yeah, it definitely does line up with the dollar too.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody.
How you doing, bro?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good.
I know you're getting after it early this morning, man.
I am.
You got any thoughts on this dollar, cat, bro?
Man, it's all going. Good morning, then. It's all going to hinge on this data, right? That's coming out for the dollar. You know, if that inflation is coming down as expected, people may be leaning towards that pause, right?
Right.
From the Fed, which could weaken the dollar. So technically, this setup is making perfect sense. But it's all going to depend on what that reaction is.
Yeah.
And the is one thing for the number, right? It's another thing for where the different sectors and where that inflation is seen is coming down the most, or where it's still sticky.
Definitely.
So that's what I'm waiting. That's what I'm waiting to see on that. But from a technical perspective, it's looking beautiful the way you have it. But like we always say, there's no technical structure that'll stand in the way of a strong fundamental occurrence. So
this is fact.
Yeah. So I'm kind of on pause, just waiting to see what happens with this data that comes out.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Yeah, because all like the majority of the bets right now in the market is that the Feds are going to pause. So we'll see if the data that comes out supports that.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. We shall see.
Yep.
So adding additional confirmation to this, right? Where this is the range that we're trapped in this B boundary zone on the 1 hour. So what we could say is we want to see a break above, break out of the zone. Boom. Right? And a retest of that range. And that can give us that opportunity for the entry to the upside there. Right. So adding those additional confirmation points because we know we're in this data cycle. Right. And we're waiting for some additional things to happen. So yes, we have a wave here, right? And we have some points of confirmation for us for potential entry to the upside, but we want to add some additional due to the data that's ahead. Right. So Carolyn, your question regarding when's the right time to get into a trade. The right time is when your rules are met, right? When your rules are met, that's when you should enter a trade. So you want to ensure that any forms of confirmation that you have built into your trading plan, those points of confirmation are met for your entry. Miss Yassin, you got a question?
Sorry, I made it difficult for you.
No, all right. But hopefully that answers your question, Carolyn, right? So if your points of confirmation are met, then that's when you'll want to enter that trade. Okay. All right. Any other questions on this dollar CAD? No? All right. Cool deal. Let's look at the dollar Swiss. Clean this up a bit. Pull that out. Let's go to the daily. Here we are on the dollar Swiss. Right? Pushing off the B boundary, hovering in between this 236 and 382. Right? Was a previous level there. Got taken out. That's resistance now. And that's support now. Boom. Right? So we want to break out in one direction or the other. Swissy is the weaker of the two at the moment, but depending on, again, what the dollar does, we could see this come back down. So this is where we are on a daily perspective, just with that 382 here with that push. All right, so coming down to the 4. Come all the way back. We'll run that fib off the high. Right. So here we are on the 4. Out of this 80-20, shallow retracement 118, 127. We push to that 382 there. Boom. All right. Now we're caught in this range here. Okay. So we want to see obviously what happens with the dollar. Strong bullish push here. Pullback happening. We'll see if this turns over and continues to make its way to the upside. All right. But we're coming out of the 80-20 zone. We already hit TP1 there on the 4. Coming down to our 1. There it is there on the 1. All right. Similar to that 4. Got that turn and the push to the upside. All right. That's the larger fib. And then if we run just a sub fib to the upside, this is what we see. Right. So in that swing to the upside, right, we got to push to the 382. We got to pull back daily support. And now we're trying to make another wave to the upside. Okay. So we'll watch to see if we get price to turn over there, but we got a 618 retracement here. Strong push, pullback. Right. So let's see if we get this continuation to the upside if the dollar gives us that move. Okay. If the dollar gives us that move. So that's the push there to the upside if we see it, but this one's already on the move. If you took this either out of the 80-20 zone or off the 618 retracement off the sub fib. All right, so we'll see if we get some continuation to the upside here. Okay. Any questions here on the dollar Swiss? Nope. All right. Cool deal. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar. So this one's going to be interesting, right? Because there's that daily fib. There's our daily fib, right? Let me see, we're trapped a bit, but 8-6 retracement, press down. So I'm going to pull these out for a second and just zoom in and look here. So I want us to see this here. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4th time at this daily and weekly resistance level. Right? 4th time here. So it's a question of, does this level hold? Right? Similar to that DXY, does the level hold or does it get broken? Right? The data will tell us. The data will tell us. Okay. So we want to watch this to see what happens. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right, cool deal. So I want to see what happens at the daily level. All right. I want to see what happens here. So we're pushing to the upside. Haven't had much retracement in the recent past, right? Since May 30th, it's just been a move to the upside. Okay, so we want to see, do we get price to come back down? So as we move through down to the 4, this is where we sit on the 4. Off the B boundary push, beautiful move to the upside. Took out this previous daily level. Let me come back here. Yeah, we'll take that level out. And that level. All right. So we will call this our new low here. We'll update the lower time frames as we move through them, right? That daily and weekly level got broken, so they're no longer there. Coming down here to the 4, right? Take that level out, take that level out, and that's where we sit there. Okay, so again, does this level hold? Do we stay inside this A boundary? Okay, been a strong push to the upside coming into that key level. So we'll see what the data tells us if these levels hold, right? We'll see price turnover press down that 118 level, matching the extension 64,393. Okay, so that's what we could be in for if those levels hold. If they don't, that A gets taken out and we flip the fib to the upside. Boom. Okay, now running that sub fib to the upside gives us some interesting confluence, right? We got 8-6 retracement and we got a shallow retracement at 118 and 127 zone sitting right there. Okay, so we'll look at it on the 1 hour to see what happens there, but there's some interesting confluence there on the 4 hour that could give us some additional confirmation in the event that that level holds for us. All right. So now as we come down to the 1, boom. There's that 118, 127 zone. Okay. So we get price to hold in this zone. Shallow retracement, 118, 127. That's in line with that 4 hour. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful technical setup here, right? Absolutely done it. So, right, confluence on multiple time frames. Let's see what the data holds and see if this level holds for us, right? We'd love to see another push to the upside to really get into this resistance level and then see price turn over. Okay, so here on the 1, stop outside the D, you're looking at 61 pips. To TP2 is 109, right? If we come back to the 4, okay, that I'll bring this up and see where this where the stop loss sits. Right? Yeah, that's in line with that D extension as well. Right? So that's your stop loss there outside the A boundary as well. Right? And then you take profit on this one would be larger, right? There's your sub fib, but the matching D extension is here. So it would look like that. Okay. So let's watch this one closely as well. All right. Opportunity 357 pips to the downside. In the event that the dollar turns over, these levels hold and we get that press to the downside. All right. Like Benny said, there's a lot of pieces that go into it. What sectors that inflation has eased, what sectors has it not, and then just how the market reacts to it overall. Right. And then after that, what the Fed decision is, including that data into the conversation. All right. So be diligent, right? And make sure that our confirmations are met. That's our 4 hour level there. Boom. Okay. That's the larger move on the 1. Like so. Okay. That is the Aussie dollar. That's the Aussie dollar. Any questions here? Pull these levels out. And we can add, right? Drop the cloud on for additional confirmation. Boom. Still above right now. Pressing up. Okay. No questions? All right. All right.
Did you already do UJ or no?
I did do UJ, yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. We're waiting on, still waiting on the data, right? But it looks similar to that DXY, and we're just hovering in the zone. Right, just hovering there. So wait to see what happens. I was saying that the 4 hour we have a larger fib than the 1, So we could potentially see a bounce off this daily support level, right, which is in line with the 618 retracement on the 1 hour, whereas this is just a 236, just shy of a 236 on the 4. So we similar to that Euro CAD that we saw a few weeks back, where we didn't get the deep retracement on the 4, but we got the deep retracement on the 1. That's kind of how I'm looking at this one, just to keep those variables in mind.
Yeah, something I have.
Yeah, good deal. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Let's go here to the daily. Right, we daily resistance here, trying to press to the upside and break above that level. We'll see if we get the close above, depending on the data, obviously, right? But this is where we sit. We're pushing to the upside right now. Okay, pushing to the upside. We'll see what transpires. We already got a 618 retracement, and this is kind of the little range that we're trapped in. We'll see if we push back up and get to that 110 level, or do we come back down and stay below that 107? All right, so this is going to be the level that we watch to see if we're able to close above, or if we press down back below. Coming down to the 4, similar look, right? Here on the 4, we've already broken above that level. So let's see what happens if this is just going to be a retest and a continuation long, or if the data presses us back below, right? If the data presses us back below, then we'll look at these next daily support levels and see what transpires once we get there. Okay, so back and forth right now on the euro dollar, coming down to the 1. Here's the swing off that low, right? Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. Beautiful move to the upside, got us to TP2. Another level of daily resistance here. We'll see if we push into that zone, right, or not. Could see a pullback and a pushback up to that 108 level. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, but this was a beautiful swing to the upside, right? Beautiful move. And now we're waiting to see what happens next. Okay. So that's where we sit, right? So if we get 2 scenarios, right? If dollar falls, right, we see this daily level get broken, we'll see it continue to rise to the upside. Okay. If the dollar does not fall, then we got a deep retracement, and we'll see price start making its way back down to the downside. We'll see the cloud get broken, and we'll see price fall. Okay, so those are 2 scenarios. So we'll watch this closely as well and see what transpires as we're moving through some levels. Okay. Questions on this euro dollar?
I guess this is where you kind of feel you don't control the market, but you just gotta see what it does.
Yep. Whatever your overall bias is, right? And then make sure that your rules are met. Then you let the chips fall where they may. Or you sit and wait and watch. Right? That's also a good plan, right? Being money manager. So Benny say if you don't know, don't trade it, right? Uncertain, stay out. And we'll just watch to see what happens and see if the data pushes things in the direction that we need it to go. Right? So we shall see. We shall see. I'm gonna keep the cloud on there, right? See if we get a break of the cloud if price pushes to the downside. That's what I'm going to be looking for in the event that we get that move down. Okay. Questions on this euro dollar? Did I say already? Maybe. Pound dollar we go. here we are on the daily, right? Just with the 382 there, pushed up into this 118, 127 zone, right? This is a sub fib run into the upside, right? We're in that 118, 127 zone, and we're trapped in this range a bit here. Okay, we zoom out. This is the larger fib that we're working in. Okay, this is the larger move. So we're just shy of a 618 retracement, stuck at a weekly resistance level. Okay, so coming down to the 4. And this gets so interesting down here, right? Because we got an 80-20 scenario here. Okay, boom. We got caught in a range here, double bottom, push off. Now we're caught in another range here. Okay, so we'll watch this to see. Tried to push down yesterday, pulling back now, right? We'll see what happens with the data. We'll see what happens with the data. Okay, but 80-20 there on the 4, coming down to our 1. And we have a shallow retracement, right? Didn't get to that 382, trying to push back to the upside, and we're testing that B boundary level. Okay, testing the B boundary level. So what happens? What happens, right? Strong push to the downside here. Retracement took back almost the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to watch this one also to see what happens with the data. Drop the cloud on, boom. We know we got an 80-20 on the 4, right? Pulled back into the cloud, lagging span, still high. Cloud moving sideways, twisting back bullish. Okay, so we'll see here what transpires if we get that bearish twist, right? And cloud twist back down to the downside. We could see this turnover and make that move south. All right, so we'll wait and see there and see what happens. Okay, questions on pound dollar.
Can you look at it from the 15-minute?
15, yeah. And here, just want to double check one thing. Yeah, all right. So on the 15, we'll run the fib off of our low here. Whoops. Run the fib off our low here. And we'll keep tracking all the way through. Here we go. So you already came out of that 118, 127 zone here. Still came just shy. 124, 846. 124, 858. Yeah, so just shy of that 382 there. Strong pullback. So on the this will be interesting. This will be very interesting.
Because it didn't make it all the way there.
You
Are we
could
looking
be for
at it?
another leg down.
That's what I was thinking. Like if it's stalls back up,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still gonna be data dependent, right? What happens with the data, but you definitely could be in for another leg down, right?
Just about to say, if you drop a fib right there, it's right at the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's probably not accurate. Oh, there you go. Deep crown pattern there too.
Looks just like a.
Let's see. Let's see. All right. There's your harmonic fib, 786 retracement. You could be in for it. So, right. if your bias is short on this, right? There's your setup. Boom. There's your setup. Just like that. All right. So the risk to reward on this, you got stop loss of 34 pips. Take profit of 117. 3-1. A little more than 3-1. All right. I like it. I like the thought. I like the thought. Right. And that puts you back down into your 618, 50%, 618 range. I like the thought there. I do. Okay. Any other questions here? Thoughts here?
No, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. I like it. All right. So that's your 15-minute play. Boom. Take a look at this Aussie yen. Posted in the Discord on the 4. Right. We pushed into that 118 and 127 zone. So here we'll see what happens, right? We got what we're looking for. See if we get price to turn over and start to make its way back down. Okay. Previous levels here that we broke through. I'll keep those for now. But, right, we'll see what transpires here and see if we get price to turn over and press back down to the downside. But that's your 80-20 on the 4 there. Okay. Coming down to the 1. You also pushed into that 118 and 127 zone. Okay. Boom. Actually, no, I want to keep that there. That one didn't play out. But here it is here on the 1. Okay. Boom. So that's your Aussie yen. Potential for a move to the downside. Remember, we got rate statement for the yen coming later on in the week. We shall see. I love it. I love it. So we shall see what happens here, right? But that's a nice little setup there on the 1. We got an 80-20 on the 4 as well. See if we get that move back down to the downside. Okay. Questions on that Aussie yen? I'm gonna have to find that song. I don't know that song. I have to find it and check it out.
What?
Unless I just don't know it by name.
Okay.
Well, you got it on deck for me, Joy?
Do the remix, Joy. She could sing it. She could sing it.
I can't sing. I ain't had no coffee yet. My vocals is not ready this morning.
I got you. Not warmed up yet. I got it. I'm gonna check it out. I'll look it up. We'll get a post in the Discord with we're talking about El DeBarge. I like it. The song. I don't know it by name. I don't know if I know it, but we'll get it. We'll get a video posted in the Discord. Somebody got to find it for me. All right, so that's the Aussie yen. CAD yen. Zoom all the way out here. What we got happening on the daily? Is this the move? I don't know what's happening with my charts here. I believe that was coming off the high. Yeah, all right. Fib running down. Boom. There we go. So, daily 50% retracement, right? This was that 80-20 move. I'm not sure why all of my stuff is gone here either, but we'll just run it off the fifth right now. Here's an 80-20 move. Sit at a 50% retracement, just pressing sideways, right? Beautiful play. Come down to the 4. And here we are on the 4. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. Okay. So want to see if we get price to make its way back down to the downside. We know the CAD's been strong. We know the yen hasn't changed much monetarily. So we want to see what happens here and see if we get this nice retracement and then potentially get back long. Okay. But that's the CAD yen 80-20 on the 4. All right. As we drop down to the 1, you're having at a B boundary on the 1. Right. Haven't gotten to the 382 there on the 1 either. Right. On the lower time frame, I was looking for a push to get into that 118 and 127 zone, which we may not get. But we got the 80-20 on the 4. And even if we press up, still look for price to turn over and make its way back down to the downside. Okay. So that's the CAD yen potential move to the downside there. All right. Questions on the CAD yen? That was a quick one. Swiss yen still just bouncing around. So weekly, we got an 80-20 scenario. We haven't gotten to that D extension, right? But we're hovering at this week level at 153.935. Coming to the daily, right? We got a fresh AB boundary hovering right here in this range, right? Trying to see if we get price to turn over and make its way back down to the downside to give us a retracement that we've been waiting for. Okay. We're just hovering. Coming down to the 4, you see your 80-20 play here. Okay. Boom. So, all right. Do we get price to finally turn over at some point? Do we get it? But just stuck in a range right now. Moving through the cloud, just pressing sideways. Okay. Just pressing sideways. So we get down to the 1, right? I was looking for a potential crown pattern here that didn't quite play out. And I don't believe this will be one either. I think that's too high. Nope, deep crown pattern. There we go. Right, boom. It's already turned over off that right tip. We're pulling back now. On lower time frames, we're retesting the previous level of support right here, right? And we're playing at this weekly level. So we need another break below this weekly level, right, to see this continue moving to the downside. Okay, so off the 1 hour 80-20, right, we've already hit TP1. Okay, already hit TP1 off the 1 hour 80-20. Looking for the larger move to see if we make this move on the 4 to really get us down into the zone. Okay, so if you're trading this on the short term, right, you already got to TP1. Beautiful setup. 225 pips there. Okay. So now we're looking to see if we get a deeper move, right? TP2 is 340, right? And we're back up in that zone that we were looking for the initial trade. All right, so that's the Swiss yen. Still waiting, still bouncing around. We'll see if that Swissy takes a backseat this week. Okay. I really got to look this up. Euro yen. We are still bullish. 618 retracement. We're hovering in this range. Right? Trying to break out. We got a weekly resistance there. See if we get a push to the upside. Coming down to the 4. large fib here, but we're just bouncing at a B boundary level. Okay, just bouncing at a B boundary level here. All right, see if we either break above or stay below and come back down. Coming down to the 1. Here I was looking for, or I'm looking for, right? I was looking for a crown pattern here, right? That did not play out there. We'll take that out. So now off of this fib, which is not a harmonic fib any longer, right? We got a 382 double bottom on that 1 hour fib and we're pushing long, okay? If we run the sub fib off the high, we took that high out, right? So that sub fib would then be coming off the low, like so. And we're pressing to the D extension there. Okay. So I was trading the potential crown pattern here that got blown up, right? My stop was outside the A. We'll see if price turns over or not. But my original crown is no longer. So we'll see what transpires to see if I get back down and get to break even. But that was my original idea. We'll see what transpires there. All right. So that's the euro yen, still pushing long, right? We'll see what happens with the let's see what happens as we move through the week. We got rate statements for both the euro and the yen. So we'll see what transpires there. All right. And then we will end with the beast, that pound yen. All right.
Oh, I'm so mad at my broker.
What happened?
Well, I put the thing is, this is where my problem is that I noticed. Like sometimes I think that if price come back, this is my if then statement. Now, let me say not what I think.
How much?
If price come back, I'm gonna keep this in because price came just up to my limit order, but it did not activate it, and of course it was after 5. So I just left it there, and I was like, yeah, it still was pushing up. But then I came back and I looked at it this morning, and it looked like I missed it. It looked like I missed it from the It was a sale. It was a 80-20. So my whole thing is, I guess I don't know when to delete my limit order. Because if I still see it within that range, is basically, if it's obviously out my range, and yeah, I'm gonna delete it. But if it's still within my range and the scenario and environment is still the same, I mean, that was the reason why I'm leaving it. I'm sorry.
For me, I generally leave them until price really starts moving in the other direction, 50 to 100 pips. With this one, with the pound yen, it would be a little different because the ATR is so high.
Exactly.
And a small move is 100 pips. So that one, I'd probably adjust that to probably 150 or 200. But, and this is what George's talking about down here, right? So here's your 80-20 here, right? Where was your limit order set?
Pulling it up now. I'm sorry. I just got my computer on. It's at 176.458. I took
458. So outside that, so you're looking forward to push a little bit higher.
I took the recommended ideal on this one.
Gotcha. Right there. Okay. Yeah. So, and we could, right? We'll see what happens today. We're pushing back to the upside, so that's potential, right? So when we drop down to the 1 hour, we'll see where this level comes in at. But that's the 80-20 on the 4. So coming down to the 1, right? Coming down to the 1. This is where that idea came in right here, right? That push to the upside there. So that makes sense. So I would price hasn't reached that level yet, right? Price hasn't reached that level yet. My order here, I took off before, right? It pushed into that zone. That's why I was looking to take that entry at. I was looking for that retest of that weekly level that I had there. But off the one, right, the level makes sense. Push into that 118, 127 zone. Okay. So if you get that pushed into that zone, yeah, absolutely. Right.
I'm trying to create a new habit.
What's the habit?
My habit was how I caught them B moves is that's where I set my runner at. I mean, I know that the play is the 127, 118, but I always put a entry at the B level.
Okay.
But I haven't been doing it lately. And I've been trying to form a new habit of trying to wait for price to, to get up there.
Yeah. So
when I looked at it this morning, maybe like I said, when I look at it on my iPad from the phone into the desktop, it looked different. So I apologize.
No,
because it showed enough look like it moved further than what it did.
Yeah. On those different devices, it definitely looks larger than this move is still over 100 pips, but it looks larger than what it actually is, right? 130 pips. That for any other pair, that's a large move. For the pound yen, that's nothing, right? So, yeah. So we'll see. We definitely could get that push to the upside here to get to that level, right? Especially with rate statements and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I just sit tight. Just sit tight. It hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. Still in that range, right? On that 1 hour, definitely looking for price to push up to that zone. Yeah, so I sit tight on it. Yep. Scenarios like this, the idea hasn't played out yet, right? So in these scenarios, I'm waiting until price comes to that level, right? And then again, if price comes short of that idea, right, but you get your trend line break, your cloud break, or whatever your confirmation is, maybe you delete that order and just take a market entry off that break, right? If your level isn't hit at that point, right?
Well, the reason why I stopped doing my market execution, again, with my broker, my market execution, depending on what the ask and the bid price at, it will always put me at the lowest resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it's more than the spread.
That is the spread at that time. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the spread. That's the spread on that.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm understanding. Okay,
yeah, that's what that is. That's what that is. So, but yeah, that's how I'd handle that though, right? In these scenarios, I'd wait for my idea to develop, right? If price was already in this zone and then took off to the downside, right? Say this was the move here, right? And price already broke that level. Now I'm deleting that limit order, right? Didn't take me in. Price already left. All right, we'll go ahead and delete that. And now we'll look at, okay, my idea is still the same, but now prices already started running. If there's something that I still want to enter, I'm looking for a high price, right? Look for a pullback either on the lower time frame, or in this case, right, you're still inside of this 118, 127 zone, even if you get that push to the downside, right? So I'd be looking for a pullback and a potential entry off of that like that. And that one I'd take as a market entry off the pullback or what have you. All right. Hope that helps. So, any questions on anything that we covered this morning? Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
Yeah, just continue to stay patient, everybody. Right. I know if you guys are like me, you're always itching to get in the market, but one of the things that have saved me over the years is understanding that I don't have to be actively in the market all the time. I could be actively looking, actively reviewing my charts, right, for setups to hit my sweet spot, but I don't have to be actively trading, right? And that's what good money managers do, right? We pick our spots, we stick to our rules. So, and you guys see that we trade fairly large setups. So when they come around and they hit. So just sometimes, hey, sit back, sit on your hands, right? I know there's a lot of things out there, people in and out of the markets all day, high frequency, all of that stuff. But the way we do it is we sit back and we're patient. We wait for those big setups to come around. So We got important data coming up here at I believe 8:30.
Yep.
The different articles and things that I was reading last night and early this morning, are mixed. Again, it depends. Hey, some articles, inflation is expected to slow, but it's, hey, in what areas? We know the Fed has a job to do. They need to get that target, that inflation rate back down at 2% target. It's come down a lot, but the Fed has a target that they need to reach. So would I be surprised if, despite the data today, they still hit us with a 25 basis point hike? I wouldn't be surprised. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't hike and they paused and they wanted to be, definitely data dependent and see the lagging effects of what they've done already. Right. So in these times, okay, and that's why you see the market bouncing around. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. So sit back and just relax and just wait to see what happens. That's it.
Yes, sir. Sit back, wait to see what happens, and see where the market gets pushed. Right? See where the market gets pushed. And we're gonna drop this song to see if I know what it is. I Like It by El DeBarge. Let's see what YouTube has.
We can close out on that.
Night. You guys have a
Thank you for your that's right.